Hey guys, welcome back to our virtual dumplings and dancing. Another really good little demonstration I'm going to do for you. Once again, my name is Jason Brashear. I'm the Director of Community Programs here at Hyman Settlement School, and really work in our food waste program and kind of that collision of food, agriculture, and culture. And we're really pleased with what we've been able to do here at the Settlement School. But this afternoon or to this evening, I'm going to share with you my recipe for dumplings. And now, earlier today, we talked about cornbread and you put sugar in it. Do you not use buttermilk or milk, or do you an egg or no egg? There's lots of different recipes and lots of different thought processes that go on in people's minds to determine the best way to make cornbread. Well, you kind of have the same thing with dumplings. Do you have dumplings that are big and fluffy? Do you have them that are flat and cut? Do you have them somewhere in between? How do you make those? So I'm going to go through the way that I make dumplings. We may talk about a couple different dumplings or ways to make dumplings as we're actually dropping them in. But the first thing to do, what I like to start with, and there's different ways. You can start with just canned or boxed chicken broth. Or you can keep some chicken stock from something else. But I love to start with a big, nice whole chicken. And create a broth with it, and that's what we're going to do. That's that first step we're going to do. And the first thing, we're going to salt and pepper it. I got my salt and pepper here, and we're just going to liberally apply our salt and pepper. The more we do now, the less that we'll have to do as we get into the dumplings, and as we get into kind of that final taste test. It just and you think, my goodness, you're putting a whole lot of salt on here, but after this cooks, you'll notice that it still might need a little bit more, and it all depends on your salt level and kind of what you like. But we're just going to salt both sides and pepper both sides. Just get a good kind of coverage on it. And then from there, it's pretty simple. We're going to go into a stock pot. I don't use a big one. We're not going to make a massive kettle of dumplings today, so I'm using a small stock pot. I'm going to fill this up with water that just covers the whole chicken, and I'm going to put it on the stove on a medium heat for some time until that chicken is fork tender. Hey guys, our chicken is done. Our broth smells just tremendous. I wish you were in the kitchen to be able to smell this because our Forks of Troublesome chicken just makes the most excellent broth. And the aroma is filling here, the settlement school here. So now it's time for us to make our dumplings. So I start with about 3 cups of self-rising flour. I am going to add in some pepper. Just a few pinches, a couple pinches of salt. I'm going to mix that up and then slowly add some milk or buttermilk, whichever you prefer, and some of the chicken broth we just made. I like to put the chicken broth. It adds a little flavor into that dough. I like to stir it up. We're just going to make a dough ball, and then we're going to put it out on a board and then work it with some more self-rising flour until it's something that we can use. So, actually are pretty good, maybe a little bit more milk. Scoot that on around. I just like to make a good dough ball, and then let's move everything out. Scoot our board over. We have flour here. We're going to work this just like we would work our biscuits or any other sort of type of bread. We're going to turn that wet dough out. Clean out our spoon. And we're going to just work this a little bit. We're not going to knead it a lot. We're just going to work it over and over to where it's not sticky, where we can. I like to I call them pinch dumplings. So I like to make my dumpling dough to where I can pinch it off and then not get all over my fingers. So I want to add some of this extra flour, work it in, and that way when I go to pinch it off into the chicken broth, it doesn't stick on my fingers, and you know, it's a good dry dough. I guess at this point, if you like good thin dumplings, you would take a rolling pin and roll this out and cut them. If you like big fluffy dumplings, instead of doing this, you may have just left the dough in the bowl and then took a spoon and maybe dropped it in from that spoon. But this dough is getting about where I want it to be. You know, we're really blessed to have this kitchen here at the settlement school. We're able to make a lot of products and cook a lot of meals and share a lot of love here. We got Diane and Vivian, our hospitality staff here. And for those of y'all that's been to Dumplins, you know that the love and the care that they put in every single meal that they put out. And you know, we cannot wait until this mess is over with. I'm gonna put a little bit of this in the bowl just in case I need to work it out. You know, we're so excited for this pandemic to end, so we can have you back here on campus, so we can share that love and share the wonderful meals that we're used to sharing here. So we'll be back in just a second, stove side, dropping dumplings. So folks, we're back here in the kitchen at the stove. We got our broth that we made from our farm fresh chicken. And it is so aromatic and absolutely gorgeous. It's a good golden yellow. And that is what, in my opinion, makes the best dumplings. We're going to turn the heat up on it and bring it to a good rolling boil. And then take our dumpling dough. And I like to just pinch them off and drop them in. You want it to be a good rolling boil. That's the way that they get done. Folks, we're back. Our dumplings are simmering. We've got our chicken out. It is fairly cool, and we're going to pull it apart. Like I said, I prefer to just use the breast. So we're going to just pull these breasts and breast tenderloins out. And then in a bowl, I'm just going to start cutting them up or ripping them up in little chunks and pieces. That's really the way that I like it. I will, from time to time, I will pull a thigh and do the same thing. It's according to how much chicken and how many dumplings we have and what I need. But I certainly, I like to have mine a little more dumpling-y, a little less chicken-y, if that makes sense. But that's all up to personal preference. I've got a really good tender chicken here that's just pulling apart really easy. We're going to work through this. Continuing to pull this chicken apart, and just little pieces and little strips. It's tender. We don't even need a knife or a fork. We're just able to roll with it. I don't know how to make this. There we go. So guys, we're back. Our dumplings are thickening up and are looking awful good. We've got our chicken. We're just going to dump it in. We're going to stir it up. Let that continue to sit and simmer and cook. But the most important part, it's taste test time. Let's see if they turned out all right. Delicious. Thank you for tuning in and learning how I make my chicken and dumplings. I'm sure it's not the way everyone does, and I'm sure there's better ways of doing it. This is the way that I've developed in my family, and the taste that we've acquired for dumplings. So hopefully you've truly enjoyed our time together. I know I have, and I cannot wait to see you here next year for Dumplins and Dancing 2021.